Shannon, what happened last night?
Coach Belichick pulled out a virtuoso. This was probably his greatest coaching performance. Skip, I believe this was better than the one that he pulled off in 1990 as the defensive coordinator for the Giants when they did what they did to the Buffalo Bills. They held the They held the LA Rams to 3 points, Skip. They averaged 33 points a game. So he held them to 30 points less than what they normally get per game. And his game plan says, we're going to take our best corner, Stephon Gilmore, and we're going to assign him to Brandon Cooks. We're going to double Robert Woods. Reynolds caught a few passes. The tight ends are nothing to, Skip, you all
tight ends caught zero. Go ahead.
Yeah, you still want them. You still think they're better than Gronk?
I do. You got to throw it to them, but that's okay. No, that's a whole other story.
Skip, the game plan was outstanding. And I don't want to get, I don't want to get too far into the schematic and what they did, but if you look at what they were doing, I was watching. The Patriots played 4 down linemen, and at times they played what we would call the underfront, Skip. They would walk Dante Hightower or they would walk Van Noy, put him on the line of scrimmage. And basically they're daring you to throw the football because they say, you're not going to run it. We're not going to allow you, Rams, to run the football. And they could not, because everything is really set up off of their run. When they can run the football with Todd Gurley, I still believe, and I don't care what anybody says, Skip, this was the Super Bowl. And you're playing in the Super Bowl. Todd Gurley got 10 carries. Todd Gurley's hurt. Todd Gurley spent more time on the bike than he did on the field. But we'll discuss that a little later. And everything is set up off the run game. They want to go play action and throw the ball down the field. Well, if you can't run the football, play action is null and void. Jared Goff, now it's been reported that Sean McVay, the headset cuts off at 15 seconds. He's telling Jared Goff to play, but he's also telling him where to go with the football. Skip, that's fine and good. But at some point in time, he's going to have to read defenses because he went to the line of scrimmage a lot last night, and he had already predetermined that I'm throwing the go ball, or I'm throwing this and I'm throwing that. And he didn't read the defenses because there were some openings that he could have had. But because he had already made his mind up where he wanted to go with the football, he was unable to come off that and go from 1 to 2 and sometimes maybe to 3. But give that what we saw last night was a virtuoso, Skip. The defense, and Coach Belichick, he always makes sure that he does not take the credit. He says, we have good players. And because they're not Aaron Donald, they don't have the name of an Aaron Donald, or they're not a Patrick Peterson, or the linebacker's not Luke Kuechly or Bobby Wagner, sometimes they get lost up in the shuffle. But as a unit, they're where they're supposed to be. They're tremendous tacklers. When they get to a spot, the guy's going down. And they don't blow assignments. And when they do blow assignments, they work extremely hard like the Cooks play. They blew the assignment, Skip. Cooks was open from the jump. He throws his head up. Goff doesn't see him.
That was the one time they did not play man.
Right.
Stephon Gilmore did not have him in man.
No.
It was zone, and they blew the zone.
Yeah. And to let you know how late he was with the ball, Devin McCourty, Skip, is the backside corner. He came from about
Jason McCourty.
Jason McCourty.
Right.
He had him 30.
Oh, yeah. I think he had to run 18 yards.
Yes, he's the backside corner.
Right.
And he sees it. He's like, well, let me get on my high horses.
It hung up, man.
And he made an unbelievable play.
He did.
Because Brandon Cooks realized that I'm running out of real estate. I got to try to toe tap. And Jason made an unbelievable play on the ball. The offense was so predictable, Skip. Rams offense, first down. What do they do every first down, Skip? Run. Okay, so now it's 2nd and 10. Now they know you got to throw the ball.
Sure.
And they brought more pressure. And what we're starting to see from the Patriots is that they're starting to turn up the pressure. And Coach Belichick does not want to bring the safety out of the middle of the field. He hates it. But he says, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to roll the dice that I can take the safety out of the middle of the field, and you will not be able to read what I'm doing. And he was absolutely correct. So this was, I don't want to hear nothing today, Skip, about no Tom Brady. Tom Brady got 6 rings. But Tom Brady, they won this game in spite of Tom Brady.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
You're done?
I'm done.
So your only reference to the great Tom Brady came at the end, which was a negative reference.
Oh, you ain't seen that yet.
Here I go.
Okay.
I have tried to warn you all playoffs long. I tried to tell you again and again and again, there is one man in sports you do not bet against.
Bill Belichick.
And his name is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. I warned you 3 times, and once, twice, 3 times a patsy were you because of the ultimate pat. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. He did it to you again. When you least expected it, when you most were ready to bet against him, he turned into Michael Jordan in sheep's clothing. He turned right into that cold-blooded assassin disguised as the corny dad who lives next door.
Wow.
Tom Brady now has 6 rings thanks to 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime. That is impossibly, unbelievably, astonishingly all-time clutch. And he did it again last night up against his greatest degree of difficulty. I told you on Friday this would be his greatest challenge in a Super Bowl.
But he had his worst performance.
I think it's my turn. Wade Phillips has always had Tom Brady's number. Last we saw that in the AFC Championship game following the 2015 season in Denver, right?
Yes, correct.
Wade Phillips has had Tom Brady's number because Wade Phillips knows how to play Tom Brady, especially if he's got the firepower to play him. He has the best defensive line in football, and he has the best cornerback tandem to me in pro football between Talib and Marcus Peters. So Tom Brady was really up against it last night without a single deep threat. His deep threat from last year was a Ram last night, and you just talked about him, Brandon Cooks. His deep threat from most of the year was a kid named Josh Gordon, who's back in rehab, unfortunately for him, after 11 games as Brady's quote-unquote quasi-deep threat. Last night, Tom Brady beat the Los Angeles Rams without completing a single deep pass to his quasi-deep threats that he has. Chris Hogan caught 0 balls last night. Philip Dorsett, the one Patriot who can run a little bit, caught 0 balls on 0 targets last night. 0 targets. And what happened when you least expect it? Michael Jordan happened. All of a sudden, with the money on the table, with the stakes the highest, with the Super Bowl teetering at 3-3, with 9:43 left in the fourth quarter. 3-3. I think this is when the money's on the table. This is when it's time for somebody to take over the football game. Lightning struck in the name of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. 4 straight plays, 4 straight completions, the first 4 plays of that 5-play drive. And let's break them down, shall we? Because the first one comes, this was the breakout one. This is the one that broke the ice. This comes straight out of the I formation with Brady under center and broken down Gronk, who still can't run a lick, looks like a Frankenstein monster, fakes like he's going to block on Ebukam, and then he just sort of leaks out around him. And Brady throws a sweet little rainbow that goes for 18 yards, and all of a sudden, breakthrough. All of a sudden, you could just feel the momentum. Then for 3 straight plays, the Patriots come out. I got to credit Josh McDaniels with this because he's calling the plays. They come out with Rex Burkhead, 3 straight times, split out receiver. Rex Burkhead? What is this about? He split out wide as receiver. They flipped the formation the second time, but 3 times he split out wide. And what happens on the first one? The middle of the field is wide open, and one more option route by Julian Edelman, and boom, over the middle goes 13 yards to Julian Edelman. Some momentum is happening. So what does Wade do? He just says, you cannot have Edelman on the second play. Again, Burkhead split out wide. Edelman in the slot, and they just mug Edelman in the slot on the second play. 2 defenders just come up and just annihilate him and knock him down at the line of scrimmage. That should have happened more, but it didn't happen more because you look at little Julian and you think, he can't really hurt us. He can't run by anybody, but he got loose for 13 more yards. So, on the previous play. So, on this play, they knock him down, and what happens? Brady sees it, bing, and he goes outside and throws a strike to, who knew, to Rex Burkhead, his backup running back, for 7 more yards. Here we come. Burkhead split out wide again, and Gronk runs straight up the seam, and he really ran into triple coverage. There were 3 Rams within striking distance of the football. John Johnson's coming over from safety. Marcus Peters is trailing, along with Littleton, who's he was all over him for much of the route. And Brady threw the strike of the game. He threw the best throw of the game for the biggest gain of the whole night. It was the longest pass play of 29 yards. It was also the longest play of the night by either team, 29 yards. Nice catch, but an all-time great throw into actually sort of triple bracket coverage to Gronkowski down to the 2-yard line, and you know the rest of the story. Sony Michel takes it home, and basically that was the football game. Boom, 10-3, and that would have stood up. Now let's get back to the defensive side. I do give Bill Belichick credit. We're going to talk about how much
but
credit
he lost his
here in
fastball,
a little
remember?
bit. He had lost his fastball. And you know what? He owed Tom Brady last night for what happened a year ago on this stage against Philadelphia. And I'm going to remind you, Nick Foles is really good. Last night should have told you just how great Nick Foles is. And I don't throw around great very often, but he is great. And your Eagles, with walk it to 'em wins, are about to have to make a big mistake. They're going to try to franchise, then trade Nick Foles and keep Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And what does it tell you that Nick Foles hung 41 points on Bill Belichick's defense? Of course, he doghoused and benched inexplicably and suspiciously Malcolm Butler last year.
But you know, Skip, they didn't get the pressure on Foles like they got on Jared Goff.
Okay.
Foles is a veteran.
Okay.
Goff is really inexperienced.
The Eagles
especially
have a really good offensive line, too, right?
Well, considering that the Rams voted the best offensive line this year in football.
So what did Bill Belichick do last night? Did he do anything shifty or sneaky or new or clever or outrageously creative? I saw nothing. I saw exactly the same defenses that I saw against the Chargers and the Chiefs. I saw mush rush. I saw 6 or 7 Patriots just sort of hang around the line of scrimmage. They did this against the Chargers.
Right.
Just hang around, and all of a sudden, 3 or 4 come and 3 or 4 drop.
Right.
You're not sure which 3 or 4, and it's hard to pick up, but it wasn't like he hadn't put it on tape before, so there was no shock value to this. I've been seeing the same defense 2 straight playoff games, and somehow the Rams could not block it.